All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're sitting in the C-suite right now, maybe you're a CEO, COO, or CFO, you already know the drill. Finding that hidden operational value is absolutely crucial. It's the magic bullet for driving growth and protecting your margins. So today we're taking a rapid, high-impact tour of a platform that is going to completely change how you uncover that value. We're talking about Process Evidence Studio.
But first, let's just address the elephant in the boardroom right out of the gate, shall we? Why do most transformation programs just fail? You allocate these massive budgets, you plan for months on end, you run endless discovery workshops, and yet, at the end of the day, the needle barely moves. That incredible ROI you were promised, it just doesn't materialize. So why is that?
Well, the answer really boils down to how we traditionally diagnose the problem in the first place. Think about it. Traditional discovery relies heavily on anecdotes, sticky note workshops, and frankly, opinions. It relies entirely on what people say happens on the floor. And relying on subjective memories, that means you are essentially flying blind. True transformation, the kind that actually moves the needle on your bottom line, requires hard, undeniable operational evidence.
Which brings us to our next section. Enter Process Evidence Studio, where we finally stop guessing.
Lanthra's Process Evidence Studio, or PES for short, is a data-driven transformation platform built to do one incredibly crucial thing. It takes your raw system data, the stuff sitting in your ERPs, CRMs, and workflows, and turns it into absolute, undeniable operational truth. Basically, it takes the digital exhaust your company is already producing every single day and transforms it into actionable process evidence.
The core promise here to leadership is beautifully simple. Stop guessing how your processes work and start actually seeing the evidence. If you're a CFO or COO who is just completely burned out on subjective reporting and gut-feeling process maps, this is the definitive answer. You no longer have to ask your teams what they think is broken. You just look at the evidence.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, great, this sounds like a massive, multi-year IT headache. Actually, scratch that. It's incredibly simple. To start building a really comprehensive process view, PES only requires 3 data fields. Literally just 3.
And those 3 core fields are, number 1, a case ID, like a purchase order or a ticket number. Number 2, an activity name, like approve invoice. And number 3, a timestamp. That is the whole shebang. From just an ID, an activity, and a timestamp, PES completely reconstructs your business reality. No massive, painful data lake integrations required just to get the ball rolling.
So, let's dive into what happens next. Exposing your true reality? The variant map. Okay, so every organization out there has this idealized process, right? The happy path. This is what operations leaders generally think is happening on the floor. It's 10 neat, perfectly linear steps going straight from sales order created all the way down to payment cleared. On paper, it looks perfect, super efficient, and highly predictable.
But man, the contrast is where it gets super interesting. When PES actually reconstructs the data, it exposes a much messier, highly complex reality. Instead of that one clean, intended path, the platform instantly discovers something like 8 complex process variants all happening at the exact same time. You immediately see all the branching paths, the crazy loops, and these hidden workarounds that nobody told you about.
So, what does this all mean for the C-suite? Well, it means every single non-standard variant happening out there represents real money and real time just leaking out of your business. We're talking about severe cycle time delays, nasty SLA breaches, really high rework rates, and ultimately massive financial leakage. Literally every deviation from that happy path is just eating away at your margins.
Which brings us to pinpointing inefficiency and finding the bottlenecks.
Because seeing the mess is just step 1. The immediate next question any COO is going to ask is, okay, where exactly is this hurting us the most right now? Well, PES instantly identifies where cases are just sitting idle. By ranking the slowest transitions in your entire business, you can see exactly where, say, an invoice is sent out to a customer, but then it just sits there for 2.1 weeks before the payment due date passes. You see precisely where your working capital is trapped for weeks without a single human intervention.
And the severity of those delays? It becomes visually undeniable. With a bottleneck heat map, those dark red and orange zones directly prove exactly where cases are sitting in queues way longer than they ever should. It's a literal map of where your working capital is tied up and exactly where your customer experience is taking a hit.
From there, you can actually zoom straight in. You go from a high-level volume map showing where the bulk of the work is piling up, right down to a hyper-detailed breakdown of one specific step. You can literally click on something like Order Confirmed and instantly see the rework rates and median wait times tied to that exact specific action. It's an absolute game changer for pinpointing the root causes of your delays.
Let's shift gears now to quantifying value, moving from inefficiency straight to ROI.
This is directly for the CFOs out there. Identifying bottlenecks is fantastic, sure, but we have to translate this into a hard, quantified financial business case. PSE is a total value engine. It shifts your teams away from saying, hey, we kind of think there's a problem, to delivering a structured business case. It gives you the problem evidence, details the impact on time and compliance, calculates the exact financial value of the leak, and then, best of all, outlines the exact recommended intervention to fix it.
In speaking of interventions, PES is incredibly smart about automation. It automatically classifies your activities into a 4-tier system: API, RPA, AI, or human-led. It tells you point-blank where to deploy a simple API connection versus where you actually need advanced AI. This guarantees you aren't just throwing expensive AI at a broken process hoping it sticks. You are spending your automation budget where it drives the absolute highest ROI.
Finally, let's wrap this up with our last section: act with absolute confidence.
By combining all this visual evidence with quantified financial impact, the whole dynamic of leadership changes. With PSN and its built-in AI copilot, your strategic decisions are finally backed by undeniable system facts. It generates client-ready executive findings instantly, highlighting your longest wait times and the best candidates for automation. Algorithms score the data, AI drafts the narrative, and you get to make the big calls based on deterministic facts, not guesses.
Ultimately, Process Evidence Studio unlocks a super clear 3-step mandate for your organization. Number 1, see the actual evidence of how your business runs. Number 2, quantify the true financial value of all that hidden inefficiency. And number 3, fix what actually matters to your bottom line.
It is time to ground your transformation decisions in real system data. The crazy thing is, all this evidence, it's already sitting right there inside your organization, just waiting to be utilized. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. Are you ready to finally ditch the guesswork, deploy Palms, and see how your business actually runs?